Hello and welcome to Artsee's Focus on the Artist series. Today, we proudly present Ayo Shanti and Samiha Sharma of the World Water Hub. Ayo and Samiha, welcome to Artsee. We're honored to have you here and we'd love to learn more about your World Water Hub project and its impact. We can start with Ayo. Could you tell us more about the project?
It started basically because I was living in Assi Ghat in Varanasi for about 6 months, and every afternoon, unless it was, it was during the monsoon, so if it was really flooding, I wasn't sitting by the river. But I love rivers, but I found Ma Ganga was truly magical for me. And there was one day when I could see the huge cloud coming. I mean, it was huge. It was like a Himalayan mountain coming across. And here's a clear sky, and here's this mountain of a cloud coming across. And I'm looking at the water, and it's dancing, and it's fluorescent, and I felt like the river was saying, like begging for the cloud to release its waters. I mean, it was like a communication between the river and the clouds. I was totally caught up in the magic of that. And then my partner, who is from India, I mean, he just loves India. And being with him connected me even more with Ma Ganga. But also, I was working at Memorial Sloan Kettering, and I was in the research area, and I could see how the collaboration between scientists was so essential to finding cures for cancer. And I felt like all this work for the environment needs that kind of collaboration. And not just river people, not just water people, but all people. So also education of people and bringing them to an understanding of how water works in the world and how water molecules work. There's Dr. Pollack at the University of Washington in Seattle is working now on how water molecules communicate with each other at great distances. So there really is a kind of magic in water that we're not aware of. But I feel like the more people are aware of water, which we are more water than anything else, and that connects us with each other and with the earth and with everything around the earth. I think when we start to understand that, we will shift the whole mindset that has created the mess we're in now. So I first started with River Project Ma Ganga, and after a while realized that because of political things and economic things, it's not that easy to do something in India that from here. So now I have made Samiha the director in India, and she can use River Project Ma Ganga to develop a team in India. And I created World Water Hub for the purposes of bringing people together from all over to collaborate, to educate, to find solutions together. So that's the long story, how it started.
That is so beautiful. Thank you, Ayo. So how are there like sub-projects along with this? How do you envision bringing this all together?
First of all, we have monthly hub meetings that anybody from the world around the world can attend. We will be doing webinars as well, educational webinars. And Samiha and I have already done that in India. And we will do it globally. And every year we will do a arts and entertainment project that brings in the arts, because I think the arts connects us to the magic of what water is. And so for 2024, our art project is a global quilt for World Water Day in 2024, and it will have photography, art, fabric art, poetry on panels that will be quilted together in a giant circle quilt. And around the edges will be logos of all the organizations and people that are supporting cleaning up the waters, the oceans, the rivers.
That is amazing. So just as a message to people who are watching, like, what are the kinds of art, what are the kinds of submissions, and how can they submit their work to you?
So most of it will be people, artists, etc., taking photographs of their work, which will be printed on fabric. Those who do quilting and fabric art can submit an actual piece that can be included. We're keeping it within an 18-inch by 18-inch square. So whatever you're doing will fit within that square. It does not have to be rectangular or square. It can be any shape you want it. Samiha was suggesting, even photographs of sand art. I'm going to do a sand mandala. There's all forms of art and poetry. We already have a poem in Hindi, a poem in Bosnian, and a poem in English. And we welcome poems from all languages. I'm also interested in inviting Indigenous people to bring their art in as well, and their poetry or chantings, or sayings, etc. And all of this will be included. It's going to be a very big quilt.
And you said this is going to be presented to the United Nations.
It will be presented to the United Nations. And I'm already thinking about the entertainment we'll have at this presentation. I already have connections with Hawaiian dance groups. I have connections with Native Americans. I would love it to be a focus on, well, music from anywhere, but also I'd love it to be an opportunity for Indigenous people to present their art, their music, their dance.
That's great. I can already envision that beautiful presentation. So you're asking artists, poets, quilters, photographers to create these images about what they feel about water or their relationship. So you already mentioned the beginning of this interview, like your relationship with water, right? How it started raining and that beautiful imagery. So can you tell us more about your own relationship and how you got here?
Well, it starts with childhood. My father was from a Finnish family, and we spent our summers at a Finnish family camp. And everything was about water. It was on a lake. And of course, there was a sauna. We all have a community sauna, and then we run out and jump in the lake. but also it was, they would go there and they would build a cabin and you'd have an outhouse. I mean, we didn't have running water or anything like that. And so when I was 6 years old, there was a pump next to the sauna. When I was about 5, my father started taking me when he went to get the water, and he'd explain to me, this is how you do it. And you always have to leave water for priming the pump for the next person. And so there was this sense of community, and everybody is responsible. And it was all around water. And when I was 6, he said, okay, it's your turn to go get the water. And I was so proud. I'm 6 years old, but it's an adult sized pail. So I go there, and you have to walk down a hill, walk across the beach, walk up a hill to get to the pump. And I fill it up, and I'm very careful. I leave water for the next person, and I'm carrying it, and I can walk about 3 or 4 feet, and I have to drop the pail because it's so heavy. And it's banging against my shins, and it takes me forever to get there. And I finally get back, and my father's like, we were about to send out the search group for you. And then he looks in the pail and he goes like this, you must have been really thirsty on your way back. But he made sure that by the time I was 4, I knew how to swim and I knew how to deal with water. But it was all about water and your responsibility for water. And it was very much about community and working together and being aware of your responsibility to other people as well as yourself.
Thank you.
Well, the other thing was my younger daughter was born with a problem, and as soon as right after she was born, her leg was put in a cast. And then when she was 3 months old, she had an operation. So she was in a cast until her first birthday, just before her first birthday. So she couldn't have an actual bath. So she was a Capricorn. Her birthday was right shortly after Christmas. So this was like her Christmas present to take a bath. I got to experience water through the eyes of a child because for her, it was so magical. I mean, she was just so happy with the water and everything. And I will never forget that.
Yeah, I can see the deep connections you've had with water and how it defines what you do later. All right.
Yeah.
So, but how do I love the fact that you're bringing arts into it, into the water. But, it's like when you think water and cleaning and everything, it's more science, but you're bringing the art. So tell us more about why and how of that.
Well, my father was also an artist. And he also did illustrated The Old Man and the Sea with woodcuts. He used woodcuts to illustrate it. That was a long time ago. But art has been in my life. I mean, I've lived with artists my whole life. My father was an artist. My mother was a musician. My older daughter is an artist. My younger daughter was a musician. I'm a dancer. So arts are essential to me in my life. And I feel that when people have art in their life, even they don't have to be an artist or anything, just the joy of experiencing it just brings you a different dimension of the experience of life.
It's really an honor to be Artsee, to be a part of this, because that's exactly what we believe is artists everywhere and artists are everywhere.
There's a lot of people who think, oh, I'm not an artist. And I'm like, guess what?
Yes,
Yes, you are.
exactly. There's artists in everybody. Yes, just as we
Right.
think, we can express. So thank you, Ayo, and we really look forward to this project and also to spread the word among our artists to come up with ideas about water so we can include it in this world quilt. So, yeah, thank you. And would love to ask Samiha about what motivated you to work with Ayo and this project.
So I was actually looking for some opportunity to contribute. So I teach like Hindi to foreigners. So I met Ayo there. She was coming to India and she wanted to learn Hindi. So we connected there and we never did anything in Hindi in those lessons. So we always discussed about this river project and all. So I got so interested in it. So she got me there and then the journey begins. So yeah.
That is so beautiful. So you have a background in organizing and or mainly translations. What's your background?
Actually, I did my majors in business economics. So this was like my side hustle thing that I was doing in my college. So I get to meet a lot of people from different parts of the world, which added a lot in me. And I met a lot of people. So that was actually great. And honestly, I really wanted to do something. I really wanted to contribute because once I was traveling in a train and I saw a small kid. He was like begging for food from one lady, and she opened a packet of biscuit in front of him, and then she threw it on the floor, and she asked him that, "Oh, can you just eat that one?" You know. So that was just like the thing that hit me, and then I was like, okay, this is not done. Like this is not the thing that this is not the behavior how one should behave. So yeah, I felt like I need to add something. So definitely then I met Ayo, and then I'm here with this. I do plan to open my NGO with involving kids in that soon. So yeah, I'm so glad.
I'm glad to
So
have you. Thank you.
yeah, wonderful. So you see a huge role of education and awareness, right, in promoting the awareness in the society.
Yeah, of course. So I think like awareness campaigns and educational programs, so they can like raise public consciousness and behavioral change. So we see a lot of people who are not aware of these things. They just use and throw things in the river. They travel to places and then they use it and then they don't care about it. So if we educate them, we do awareness campaigns or something, so I feel like we can bring a behavioral change in them, and we can teach people like how to use water efficiently, what they can contribute, how they can contribute. And then if all the communities and societies they come together, it'll be like a positive impact on water conservation. That's what I feel.
Like Ayo said, she had a connection to Ma Ganga. Do you have any particular reason or why you connected?
So Ma Ganga is like the heart of India. So all the Indians they go there for every spiritual thing. So, but when we see the condition of River Ganga, it's completely opposite how it was in earlier times. Still, people are using it in that way only. They're not doing anything for it. They're just going there, exploiting it, and then coming back. So that's why I feel like education is so important. And that's why River Ganga is the one which is the most polluted right now in India. And government is taking steps, but it's not like sufficient to bring change. So we need to educate people. That's why we're planning to do educational webinars, reach out to people, reach out to schools. That's what we want to do.
This is really very powerful because obviously one person cannot do it. You're bringing the whole community, the whole world together.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this project will also expand beyond Ma Ganga to every waterway in the world.
Yeah.
Anything else, Ayo, that you would like to add to it?
Yeah, I would like to say that it doesn't, I mean, billions of dollars have been poured into the Ganges, and it hasn't really made that much of a change. I really believe that the will of the people will be what will change it. And the only way we get to that is by educating them and showing them the impact of positive or negative actions related to the waters in the world. Yeah, I think the people are the real answer.
Thank you so much, Ayo and Samiha. Really appreciate your time today, and we shall bring this quilt alive.